I'm a therapist, and today I've come to talk about trauma. One thing I'm sure of is that everyone present here today is certain they've experienced something in life they wish had never happened. It's just that trauma doesn't have to be a catastrophic thing, you know? Most people think trauma is a horrible thing, so much so that people say, "Oh, I don't need therapy because I don't have trauma," right? But the simplest definition of trauma is as follows. It's when something happens to you and you can't deal with it emotionally alone. That alone means trauma. That's the reason everyone has some trauma. But for you to understand how and why trauma happens inside our minds, I'm going to explain the difference between fact and interpretation. Guys, this has really changed my life. Understanding this changed my life. It is the following. What is a fact? Fact is a scene that you narrate coldly, about which you have no feelings. That's what it is. Interpretation is how you view that scene. Everyone here has heard this phrase, "Hey, the glass of water is half full or half empty," right? What is the fact? Cup with water. Period. What does the, "Oh, it's half full, it's half empty" business depend on? Interpretation. And this interpretation, I usually say, is like it were the glasses you use to see things in life. And I'm going to use a very simple example that must happen every day on our planet for you to understand how this works, okay? So imagine the following. Imagine a family, a father, a mother, and this couple has a 5-year-old son. And soon a younger brother will be born. This is the scene. Father, mother, young son, and soon a younger brother will come. Okay. Out of thousands of children on planet Earth, you must agree with me that this child should be interpreting it like this. Wow, I'm glad I'm going to have a little brother. Now I'll have someone to play with. That is, he is happy. Somewhere else on the planet, there has to be another child who is going through the same situation and reacts like this. Really? Now I'm going to lose all the attention my parents give me, and now this being is going to arrive and steal my place. I don't like it, right? In other words, the scene is the same. Someone here is having a younger brother. For some, it will be super good. For others, it will be super bad. And what happens is this. Our mind is unable to perceive reality. How can this be? What is this thing we call reality? Reality is something that, regardless of what we do, won't change. There's nothing to be done. It will never change. Let me give you an example. Does everyone here agree that on planet Earth, the sun will always rise in the east and set in the west? Yes? In other words, this is a reality. Is there anything to be done? Will it change? Liking it or not, there's nothing to be done. If there is nothing to be done and it won't change, that's what we call reality. Depend on what? Your interpretation. And looking at this scenario of the younger brother, the only thing we can do for these children is change the interpretation. Look at this. The child who thought it was super cool that the younger brother was to be born probably won't need therapy, right? Now, the other one will be, remember I said they're the glasses you wear to see the rest of the things in life? That child who felt rejected because the youngest arrived will most likely be that adult who enters into a super jealous relationship. Why? Because at any moment, someone could arrive and take their place. Will they also be that person who, in the midst of family members, friends, at work, will always need someone praising, validating, saying how they're cool, how incredible they are, and why? Because if they're not good enough, someone might come and take their place. These are the people that I see, that the therapists see, right? And that's also why I say that as a rule, a therapist only treats children, okay? I've never seen one adult in my entire life as a therapist. Why? There is a part of our brain that until we're about 10 hasn't yet finished maturing, which is what I call early childhood. That is, early childhood pretty much determines what adult you're going to be, emotionally speaking. And what happens? You imagine, 10 years of our life, okay? Remember you were very little and 10 years have passed? Everything you saw, you went through and you experienced, your mind absorbed it, and you had no filter for it. That's why, in early childhood, you basically form a database full of information, and that's it. And then, during consultation, the following happens. An adult of 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60 years old arrives, but inside, the one I will actually attend to is the child. That's why I say I only treat children. I've never seen an adult, okay? In fact, some time ago, I attended to a 50-year-old father of a family who even had a grandchild already.
He's been crying to this day because one, when he took his report card to his mom, this one's classic, okay guys, she looked at his note and said, "Yeah, you didn't do any more than you were obliged to do." Guess what? He continues repeating this to himself to this day. "I'm not good enough. I do nothing well. Oh, I have done many things. I already graduated from such a place. I have 350,000 certificates, but I don't think I'm good enough." Guys, is it the adult or is it the child that's there? Oh, I think it's funny. I look at that scenario like this. He's got a beard, but I see a child of at most 10 years old inside. That's what I do in my work. I take care of children. Okay, Erika, then what am I to make of all this?
Do you know that therapy only works because our problems aren't real? Have you ever stopped to think about that? Because if our problems were really real, there wouldn't be anything to do, right? Whether you agree or disagree, the entire planet, it wouldn't work. There'd be nothing to do. Therapy only works because our problems aren't real. Erika, how's that? It's logical that they're real. It hurts. I'm traumatized. I'm suffering. Yes, pain exists. It really hurts. Remember what I said? The problem isn't the thing. It's not what happened to you. The problem is the way your mind, when you were a little kid, understood what happened to you. Do you remember the scene where the younger brother was born? What is the only variable? The perception. The scene is the same. All that changes is the interpretation. So the interpretation is the only thing that can be changed. So we can't delete the scene. There's no way to erase things that happened to you. Oh, I'm in therapy because I want to erase it from my mind? It doesn't work. The only thing we do is help this child see things a little differently. So now I want you to imagine your own inner child in front of you. Imagine your child's there, 10 years at most. And you know this child better than anyone. You know everything this child went through, everything that was felt, what this childhood was like, what kind of father and mother this child had, what was learned about what marriage means, money, people, about themselves. In short, and I'm sure that your 10-year-old child has experienced something they wish had never happened. If you're the person who knows this child the most, what would you tell the child now to be able to see things differently? What was it the child didn't understand, that if they had understood, the child wouldn't have the same problems today? So, as a therapist, I only see children. If you have trauma, if you have problems, if you have symptoms, if you have pain inside, you're not the adult. You have a child inside you, at most 10 years old, who is asking for help because they can't see things any other way. Thank you.